Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much again for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Taking a look here at PEPE. We got a lot of requests for this one. This is a coin I was considering a trade with because I had some alerts trigger overnight. So I want to double check and kind of see if this may still be worthwhile. So we're just taking a look at that. We'll also take a look at the backend data here as well, kind of see where we're at. And if you are new to the channel, I always like to look at liquidation levels first just to get perspective on potential backend data. Obviously, it's very helpful to know where people are leveraged the most. And then, of course, obviously, give some quick congrats to our community members too for a nice profitable weekend there. Mainly just the one SUI trade. We hit all profit targets there. It was pretty awesome. So if you take a look here, congrats on our 59% trade there in 2 days. Pretty much all targets achieved, but I mainly want to show this to you because there is $1.3 billion in liquidation, unusual buying activity for Bitcoin this morning. And that injection of volume into Bitcoin brought it past 100,000. A lot of altcoins are probably going to follow suit, but most of them are lagging, such as PEPE, for example, but it's lagging at resistance here. And I want to talk about why that's important. Okay, so let's look at the backend data here and kind of get started. And if you are new to the channel, don't forget to hit the like button, comment below. Follow, whatever the case is, deeply appreciate it. And to those of you who've been watching me for almost 4 years now, kudos and thank you so much. Even though I've been in the industry for over 20 years, I can tell you it is super awesome to be able to have this opportunity to be able to help influence people's lives positively instead of being just like telling you what you want to hear. So if you have sensitive feelings, it's probably not the right place for you. I'm honest and straightforward, and that's really just the bottom line. But if you're like a PEPE fanatic and you feel bad about me saying it might go down, you're probably in the wrong place. Okay, so daily time frame. What are we looking at here? This last 7 days, last 1 week's worth of trading. We got what? I'm just going to paraphrase, basically say 2.2 or 2.3 roughly. There's that range here of liquidation above us, and of course we got this 1.9 level below. Okay, so in this regard here, if we kind of look at that, that kind of tells us we're kind of in the middle, but closer to the upside. But more important, we got a lot of shorts here that could have a bad day here soon at 22 to 23 because of this heavy concentration. We got 1, 2, 3. Each one of these bars is almost $2 billion. So if we see a price wick up to about 2.2, we're going to see this, see about somewhere in the range of $5 to $6 billion in liquidation occur. Okay, so that's going to be a very bad day for a lot of people trying to short this coin. We take a look at liquidation delta. It's kind of jumping up and down. This lets me know that we're probably likely to explode here soon. And what I mean by that is that we got the bears and the bulls battling it out right now. Okay, it keeps going up and down with people trying to short versus taking longs. The more you do that in a range, especially a range that's ascending, the more likely it is to break to the upside, not the downside. Okay, that in combination with Bitcoin responding well today, if it maintains 100,000 or higher, I think PEPE should take off. We got some late longs here. Unfortunately, some folks in there about 2.15. That is not ideal, of course, but I think that level will be retested, so not the worst thing ever. But again, try not to be a late long. You can tell these are breakout traders that are unsuccessful. Okay? Again, generally we want to wait for the trend to be broken, or in this case, we've established higher lows and consistently achieved higher highs, or more importantly, parallel highs. That leads me to believe we're going to probably see a breakout with a triangle type of pattern or an ascending wedge. So that's a good sign, okay? Now again, are we going to take a long position or a short position based on a pattern alone? No, you're an idiot if you do that. And again, I say that nicely, if there is such a thing, because I'm an idiot all the time, but I'm not really, if you ask my wife, that's a different story, right? But if you ask, some other traders, I don't really make those kind of foolhardy mistakes because, again, it's just something you learn over time. And that's why I like to say that to you. Just taking a trade based on a pattern alone is very dumb. The main reason why is because there's, patterns are oftentimes just things that you can use to convince yourself to take a trade. You should be convincing yourself at all times to not take a trade, and when it's right, you do it. That's basically how trading is. Anyways, I like to say that because no matter what kind of patterns we see here, if the price action shows divergence and we're going to go down, there's no use taking a bullish type of long position, right? Inverse applies as well. So having said that, we're above our local point of control. Let me zoom out and make sure. We can see here, ever since we've been in this range of just say 1.7 or higher, we can see the price action average itself out the most at this 2 cent mark even. Now again, I say 2 cents because it depends on what trading pair you're using. Some exchanges will use like the times 100 and it'll be closer. Easy way to understand it, 2,000 would be that number here roughly, where we can see the price action between 2,000 and 2,100. So hopefully I'm not confusing you with those numbers being different depending on the chart that you're using, but the numbers still are the same if you move the decimal point over, right? Anyways, no matter how you look at that here, we're in that support range here, or you could more so construe it as a resistance range because you can see this 2100 or 2.1, that level's a bit of a resistance for us. So easy way to understand it is that this is a good sign being in that range, having this higher high, higher low pattern. And the same thing here as well, being above 50 on the RSI, money flow index is super high. This generally implies that we're back on track. And again, the money flow index is high because, not because volume is high, it's higher now than it was 14 days ago. So you can see here, a lot of selling pressure in the previous 14 days, and this local 14 is more bullish because again, we're moving up, right? We're adding more money into the market, the PEPE market, versus taking away from it. And that usually implies sustainability. 4-hour time frame, let's quickly note here, got some liquidity above us. Of course, we've already talked about that, but we can obviously see here as well that 50 in the RSI is holding strong. So we got a pretty good solid support below us. Same thing as well with stochastic and MACD. They're all basically converging. While this isn't a true convergence, it is starting to plateau, starting to move sideways, and stochastic is letting us know that further upside is probable. Now again, you could argue in the last 24 hours that we're seeing lower highs and lower lows, but this is also somewhat of a bullish type of flag pattern, and generally speaking, those are favorable. But once more, the reason why that's relevant is because we have a lot of confluence here, right? We've got most moving averages, pretty much all of them at this point, are below the price action. We're over 50 on the RSI. We got a tremendous amount of reasons why you don't just take a short into this. If you're the kind of person that says, oh, MACD is diverging, I'm going to short. That's just dumb. Everything else is telling us it's going to go up. Why go down with the price when the majority of everything's going up? And it's a bullish type of uptrend too. Okay, so there's that. Furthermore, too, Ichimoku Cloud. Concerning here, maybe, depending on how you look at it. Let's take a look. So first of all, Ichimoku Cloud in the hourly, generally speaking, you want to be soundly above the cloud itself, right? The lagging span, however, is nice and free and clear of the price action. That gives me a lot of favor, if you will, and the confirming conversion line above the baseline. So while we're not above the cloud, we've broken above it and we're above the upper lead, and that's a very positive sign. So that in combination with this local point of control letting us know here that this 2.05 or 2050, that level there is effectively that support. There's a stronger chance we see the price go up than down. Now you got to recognize too, if Bitcoin pulls back, I think PEPE will do so as well, and we may actually see that lower 2050 or that 2.05 level be retested. Okay. So again, just some things to kind of think about here. This is not a perfect situation. I think if you're going to consider a long, you may want to consider averaging in, because if Bitcoin does pull back to the $100,000 mark, which is mildly expected, then I would say that we're probably likely to see PEPE do the same thing. Okay. And again, if it pulls back, I would say 2000 is that support. If we go back to the daily, just to clarify that point of control, so you kind of understand and can see it here. Once more, we have a lot of support in this range here at about the low 2000 or the low 0.02. Okay, so that would be a sensible place to consider averaging in. Between now, basically 2.21 or 20 is essentially that area. And I'm sorry I keep mistaking and saying the decimal points wrong, but if you use the chart, and depending on what chart you're on, you'll know what I'm saying if you follow along. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at there. Mostly positive here. Just keep in mind Bitcoin pulls back. This coin will too. But the likelihood of a pivot off this local support range makes a lot of sense too. Okay, so I'm pretty bullish on PEPE, but you let me know what your thoughts are there too. Maybe you see a hidden bearish divergence and some kind of early forecasting tool telling you the price is going to go down, and maybe you short with 100x leverage to the downside and show everybody how awesome you are with a super high leverage play. Okay, again, super high risk, not really all that trustworthy. So just be careful who you trust. And I'm not saying that I'm phenomenal or amazing, but we had some pretty good results last month, pretty decent amount of consistency there. And those are, as you can see, the main reason why I show this to you, 5x leverage on everything except for Bitcoin. Well, ETH too, but Bitcoin and ETH are my only two 10x leverage trades. So as you can see, there's responsibility that comes along with this. If these were 50x leverage trades, we'd probably see it flipped around because we would have hit our stop loss on the majority of those. Okay, again, you got to let your trades breathe in a swing trading market right now, especially the way the market's moving quite aggressively. So just note that. Okay, I think that's all I got. Hopefully you learned something today. If so, maybe comment below. If not, that's cool too. You'll catch it on the next one. Join us over at Bitunix too, folks. No KYC or VPN required. These guys are phenomenal. We've been using them as a community for almost a year and a half now, and we can see here at this point, they got a MacBook Pro and a Rolex to whoever wants to have high volume this month. I don't want you to try to incentivize yourself to use high volume just to get those rewards. That's not the reason for it. Do what you do normally, but if you're a high volume trader, that's available for you. Obviously, tune into my Twitter, Telegram, and Discord too. I post playout charts if you're not familiar. We'll see you in the next one, folks. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.